Pleasant evening, one and all. It is indeed good to be back in Benque, as I had promised just about a month ago that we would come back 1 month later to revisit the plans that we had put in place to address the plaguing issue of crime in this border municipality. I take the opportunity to thank the Honorable Era Rep, Mr. Espat, for his presence and his support, as well as to the Mayor of Benque Town, Mr. Rosales, for his continuous support to the police and you, the people of Benque Town. I do agree with the ERA representative that the issue do spans beyond Benque Town and also must include the surrounding communities, particularly Arenal and Kala Creek, as well as the village of Sokots, which is right next door. We know what brought us here the last time, and that was due to the increase in these cross-border crimes, particularly involving the theft of motor vehicles and the home invasions into the homes of you, the private residents. And we came here, we discuss, we strategize, we listen to your ideas, and a working group was put in place, headed by Mr. Vidal. And that working group was able to reach out to those persons who had made commitments to assist the police. We all understand that we are policing in extremely difficult times, and a time where the government coffers is not where we would want it to be. And so getting the relevant resources for the police to be able to function the way we ought to is extremely difficult. While yes, the government is trying, we have to understand that the issue of fighting crime must always be a shared responsibility between the police and the citizenry, and we cannot always expect that the government will be able to give us what we want. And so it is with that spirit that I must say that I am extremely grateful to those persons who reached out and ensured that whatever plan we discussed the last time we were here, that those plans were not just words that flew away in the wind, but rather those commitments that were made were honored by every single individual who made their commitment. And so I want to thank those persons. I see the lady to the front here who donated the cell phones. I see Mr. Weber, what's your name, sir? Gibran, Mr. Gibran, who donated the lights for the police vehicle that is here, that is now here in Benque. And you know, after I left, and the vehicle was assigned to Benque as I had promised. But the vehicle was not given to Benque police per se, in the sense that to say to Mr. Zib, this vehicle is for Benque. Because the truth of the fact is, if I were to give Mr. Zib another vehicle, it would be of no use to him, because he do not have the manpower to utilize the vehicle. And so I went beyond what I had promised, and I gave the vehicle to Special Patrol Unit. And not only did I give the vehicle, along with the vehicle came 4 police officers and 2 BDF soldiers, and we now have a operation within the Benque area to target these bandits. And so we went beyond what we had agreed. And I'm happy that Mr. Sir, forgive me for not remembering him properly, was able to, Mr. Gamboa just reminded me, there's 8 police officers, and the operation is 24 hours, Mr. Gamboa? Yes, it's a 24 hours operation, round the clock, where we're out patrolling Benque, Sokots, Arenal area, going after these persons who we believe are involved in these type of crimes. Yes, we understand that it is cross-border, but we also understand that these persons, for the most part, are Belizeans, and say that they do have homes here in Benque or within the Benque area. they do have friends, they do have family members who encourages them as a part of what they do. And the collaboration again between our police in Benque, Mr. Zip, and our Guatemalan counterpart led to us getting two of the main persons of interest, particularly in the murder of Mr. Rosado and Mr. Cable and Mr. Rosado in Sokots, and Mr. Rosado in Sokots. And those two persons are now behind bars. Yes, we're still looking for others. And we also received credible information the others we're seeking are in the military area. Let me also say that apart from what we discuss here, we also have had two bilateral meetings with our Guatemalan counterparts at the OAS building at the border. And through those two meetings we have had, we have also been able to establish a very cordial relationship with our Guatemalan counterparts where we're now sharing information. And they have already asked for us to send to them the photographs of those persons who are wanted for these crimes. And Mr. Zip have provided those photographs to them, and so those persons are currently being sought by the military police. But again, this is very important. And one of the things we agreed to was that we're going to, from time to time, conduct simultaneous operations in both Belize and Guatemala along the borders, again, all with a view to ensure that we target these persons who are involved in these cross-border crimes. So there's a lot of things that we're doing. Now, the Arenal Road, as you know, has always been one of the main outlets or inlets for these bandits to come into Benque, Sokots area to commit their crime and then go. And so again, we had a young man, I don't remember his name, who had committed to construct a booth for the police on the Arenal Road by the Y, where you have the road that goes to Benque, and then you have the one that goes to Arenal. I am pleased to announce that that booth has been erected. I just came from there, myself and Mr. Vidal. We went to inspect the booth, and we're satisfied with what we see. The booth is there. I think the only thing left to be installed is the sewage, and the mayor is working on that. Hopefully by the end of this week, that will be installed. And police officers are already working at that booth on a 24-hour basis. So that will help us to be able to lock off that outlet out of the country, because when they steal the vehicles, they normally rush through and try to get to Arenal as quick as possible, then go across the Guatemalan border. So we are now able to ensure that that do not occur. Other than the booth, we also have a barrier at the location. That barrier remains down, and the police and BDF there are going to be the ones to control how that barrier moves. But in addition to that, we will ask the mayor, and he's here, to ensure that we have some bumps or humps that will be just before and after, because we don't want a situation where persons may be so desperate and may just decide that they're going to drive right through the barrier, damaging the barrier. So the hump will be there to ensure that any vehicular traffic that comes through there slow down when they get there. Benque has also agreed that they're going to purchase 2 repeaters, because as we discussed in our meeting last time, one of the major issues we have was that of communication. And so while we do have the phones that are going to be used by the patrols, we also want to ensure that the patrol vehicle is equipped with radio communication as well as the booth. So if something were to occur at Benque or along that route, the police in Benque will be able to communicate to the patrol and the booth by way of radio, because while yes, smart do works in the area, the signal is still not too good in every area. And so they may have that those areas where they may not get signal, but the radio will be able to communicate constantly. Likewise, if Benque have a situation where they require police assistance, they will have the radio communication. They can call directly to the police on that radio, relay the information, and the police will be able to respond as quickly as we can to address whatever concerns that they may have. And so we see there are a number of things that we're doing. We want that you, the people of Benque, Sokots, if anyone from Arenal is here, from Kalakrik, we want you all to be safe. Yes, we cannot guarantee you that you're going to be safe at all times, but we are going to do whatever we can within our powers with your assistance to ensure your personal safety. Yes, we still call upon you to do what is necessary to ensure that you're safe at all times. And then the police have the duty then to ensure the safety and security of the general public. Because we don't go and provide security for any specific person. except for the Prime Minister and the Governor General, who we mine on a 24 hours basis. But other than those persons, then we don't provide personal security as such. But overall, I believe that since we met the last time, we have been doing well, and I trust that going forward, we're going to do much better with the assistance that we have gotten from you, the people, and with what the area rep has promised. And the mayor, we do anticipate that going forward, things are going to be better. Yes, there are still a few things that we need to iron out in terms of making sure that the police and BDF who works at the booth are going to be secure. For example, the general area where the booth is constructed have some extremely high bushes. Now, we have to cut those down because we don't want people to dodge the police and the BDF from those bushes and shoot at them, then are able to escape so easily because of the bushes. So I discussed the matter with the area rep, and he's going to speak to the Ministry of Works and see if they can go in with a bulldozer, or perhaps the mayor may have a backhoe that can also do the job. But the sooner we do that, the better it's going to be, because we already have our officers in that location, and we want to ensure that they are always safe when they're there providing security for us. I don't want to spend too much time talking because I want to ensure that you have the opportunity to be able to voice your concerns, ask whatever questions you may have, and then we see what we can do to be able to answer your questions. So I don't know, Mr. Vidal, if you have anything further you'd like to add. Mr. Vidal was the one who I tasked to ensure that what needs to be followed through, that there was indeed followed through, and I must commend him for the excellent job that he had done along with Mr. Sib in making sure that we were able to reach out to the donors, and what needs to be done was done. And so I'm now going to yield to Mr. Vidal if he have anything further he'd like to add to what I have said. So again, thank you everyone, and I ask that the good Lord continue to bless us and keep us safe in all that we do.